Welcome back to another edition of the Navy Sports Magazine. We're presented by the Navy Federal Credit Union. Time to shine the light on Navy gymnastics as the Mids are headed to #1 Oklahoma for a matchup with the Sooners. Syam Buradagunta joins us right now. And, for your team, you guys admittedly at the beginning of the season said last year was not up to your expectations. You all as a team have set out this year from day one to be better. Do you feel like your team has responded in that frame?
I do. I really think we do. Coming off that tremendous youngster year, best team in program history. The seniors on our team right now, we know what it takes to be that great, having gone through that year and being that good. So we're trying to implement the things that have given us success before, and I think we're doing a good job with that this year.
When you have a program that has had culture and now has built some legacy, quite frankly, is there a push to try and get that even higher and higher? Especially with all of the quality competitors you all have had in your room over the last few years.
Oh, of course, yeah. So it's something we say all the time, and that's actually been our team motto. This year is better every day. So every single day, if we can get 1% better and continue that, not only through this year and for years to come, that's how you build a culture, and that's how we'll achieve success in the future. So
How motivating is it when you look around the room, you see other great competitors, and you all can essentially motivate each other every day based on the quality of the performance in preparation that everyone strives for?
oh, it's awesome. Not only is it motivating, but it's also sometimes necessary. Like your life as a midshipman can be kind of difficult. You go through classes and military obligations can be really hard sometimes. You step into the gym and you're tired, or you had a big test coming up, and you look to the your left and right, and there's people putting out who want something just as bad as you do. It can really like light a spark in you and bring you up on the bad days and push you even farther on the good days.
So I'd like to have the challenging schedule you all do, and I know the men's gymnastics community in terms of quantity isn't large, but the quality is, and it seems like all the time you all are competing against someone of equal, better, and quite frankly high quality. What's that challenge like, and how cool is that as a gymnast and a student athlete to be competing against the very best like that?
Yeah, it definitely is like that. Just given the fact that not many people continue from like a young age all the way through college gymnastics. All the people in the college level are like the elite of the elites, the best of the best. So every time we get to put our hand up, that you're competing against someone who has gone through probably minimum 15 years of rigorous training to get to that point, just like you have. So it puts the pressure on whether you're going up against #1 Oklahoma or a conference rival. Like every single person in NCAA gymnastics has really earned their spot and deserves to be there. So you can put that pressure on yourself every time you get to show in competition.
When did the gymnastics bug bite you, and when did you know that it was a vehicle for you to getting a great education and being able to compete right now at the highest level?
I gotta credit my parents for this one. I believe, 5 or 6 years old. We had a little rocking chair in my house, and I kept jumping off of it, like flipping onto the couch and stuff. And my mom and dad were neither of them were gymnasts, but both athletes, and they were like, "We got to put this kid somewhere where he doesn't get hurt." And they're not very tall, so they knew some sports weren't going to be in the cards for me. So my mom put me in gymnastics, and she had a feeling that I would be really successful in it. So I thank her for that.
I was going to say, if gymnastics or supply corps doesn't work out, maybe a role as Spider-Man somewhere down the road could clearly fit. For you, I mean, you look at and some of your teammates are in the same boat. The challenges of competing in multiple events, they all require such different disciplines, different movements, different planning and preparation. The challenges of doing all of that at this level, but also, I mean, let's face it, a handful of you are doing it at a very high level. I think it's extraordinary. How does that come together, though, for an athlete?
Yeah, so the biggest challenge about that with all the events being different is the planning, I would say. Because when you're showing, when you're competing, it all feels the same. Like you're going out there, you're dialed in, you've done your training. So it's really the planning and training that's difficult. And the way that we overcome that in the gym is we have specific coaches for each event. And when I work with Coach Craig on high bar and Coach Mike on pommel horse and then Kip on floor and vault, all of their plans are very different and tailored specifically to my needs on that event. So they make it very easy for me to like focus my training where it needs to be on each of these different events. So then when it's competition time, I don't have to think about any of that. I just raise my hand and go.
The scoring in your sport is so discretionary. It's, um, as those who have watched gymnastics, in the past, no matter what the level, uh, you're competing with technique. You're competing with certain things that you have to have within a routine. But how do you wrestle with the fact sometimes that, even though you think you've met the criteria, sometimes the score doesn't seem fair for the effort that was put in. And to me, that's got to be one of the most mentally taxing things about the sport of gymnastics.
It can be frustrating. It's just like any sport. A ref makes a call that doesn't go your way, but the thing that I really, at the end of the day, that helps me with that is one, like that small community of men's gymnastics. These judges were part of that community, and they understand that every single kid is working super hard, and they want to do nothing that's unfair or hurt the sport of gymnastics in any way. And number two, I think the best thing that you can do to um, get an advantage, I guess, out of that. If you get a score that's not to your liking, and say, hey, I mean, I gotta just be better. Like I gotta be so good that it's not even possible to where it's objectively better than my competitors, and it can be used as a fuel for the next practice, competition, whatever it may be.
I don't know if you can get more diametrically opposed than floor exercise and high bar, but do you have a favorite out of the two? And what is clearly each one has a different routine. How difficult is it to plan a routine for floor exercise and high bar?
Yeah, they are very different, and I would say that my favorite event to compete is probably floor exercise. My favorite event to train is the high bar. And what I do to really differentiate those two, uh, in competition, when I'm competing the floor exercise, I'm channeling all my aggression, like every energy I have, like going all out for it. On high bar, sometimes when you do that, if you're going too hard or too much power in the wrong places, it can take you off the bar, and then you fall. So on floor, when I'm going as aggressive as I can, high bar, I have to really dial in, focus, controlled, and kind of get my heart rate down when I'm putting my hand up to compete that one. So it can be very different, but over the 4 years, I've learned to control that.
I was going to say, because you brought, I mean, your answer brought up my next question anyway. There seems to be such an explosiveness about floor exercise. There seems to be a need for patience on the high bar. Those are two completely different mental aspects of attack here in terms of each event. To me, that's extraordinary that you can do both of them at the high level. But is that accurate? Where it seems like floor demands explosiveness, it's exciting. The judges and the crowd get into it. And the high bar almost demands a certain amount of patience, as you said, because one wrong move can send you in a bad direction.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. And when I'm competing, a lot of my teammates they'll kind of make fun of me or think it's funny. I'll get up there before I'm competing. I put my hand on my heart. Before floor and I'm jacking my heart rate up to try to get this energy going. And then when I'm doing it before high bar, I'm trying to calm it down and lower that heart rate so I can be more precise and focused. So yeah, no, 100%. That energy is crucial on floor, and then being able to be in control on high bar is very important as well.
At the same time, when you're up there on the bar, is it all instinct, or is there actually time to think about what you're doing up there on that bar?
99% of the time, I would say it's instinct. Because it's just you're gonna revert to whatever your training is. There will be 1% of the time when I mean something's really out of the ordinary and you haven't seen it in a training environment that you're gonna have to think on the fly. It's very rare, but it's happened to me in competition before, and you kind of want to avoid those moments. But as long as you keep your composure, you can get through it without having too big of an error.
You all are blessed with amazing leadership all the way at the top from your coach, all the way on down. This, this institution's all about leadership, but, having a coach that sets the tone and has set an amazing culture and tone from day one. What is his leadership like? And obviously the results speak for themselves.
Yeah, Coach Kip is a tremendous leader, and assistant coaches as well. And I think I've really noticed it being a midshipman through these 4 years. You can notice it in the team captain. So every year we get a new captain, and they're a direct reflection of Coach Kip. So every year that I've been here, I've been able to learn something. Even from this year, the captain who's currently my teammate, I'm able to learn something from him every day. A new leadership style, a new strategy that they use when things are going really right or things are going wrong. They have to address the team. You can see how the captains handle these situations, and it's a reflection of the coaches what they want for the team. It's really awesome.
Still a lot to accomplish for you guys over the last month or so here, month and a half. How do you attack this, final portion of the schedule where you've got the great duel, obviously with Oklahoma coming up, but then, obviously some championships to win along the way, the USA and obviously ECAC, and then of course the NCAA's at Ohio State.
Yeah, so first and foremost, like winning is obviously always the goal. So we want to always beat conference rivals and beat conference championship champions. Excuse me, sorry. But what we're really trying to do is stay within ourselves and not change anything from that better every day motto that we've been preaching since day one. If we can go through these last 5 meets and increase our score from each meet, get a little bit better every single time, then that's a win for us.
Pretty cool to be able to go undefeated versus Army during your career here at Navy.
Awesome. Yeah. No, that was a must. So got it done.
No doubt about that. Sam, appreciate you taking the time for us today. Best of luck to you and your teammates with what remains of the rest of this season.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much for having me.